Hi everybody, hello and welcome. As always, I am Sean. This is In The Mixer as we continue our Football's Coming Home challenge. Now, first things first, I do kind of owe everybody an apology. I think in the last episode we said we were going to come back and do our first Europa League match and then also the game against Liverpool away from home. What I did was I've set up a new recording space with a new desk and everything, new camera setup, some box lights, green screen behind me, to try and get a bit more distance between myself and the camera, give me a little bit more room to work with. I was kind of cramped in the corner earlier, and in doing that and recording my first video for that, I wasn't really happy with the way the audio quality came out. I wasn't really happy with like the framing of the actual image itself. A lot of the time the top of my head kept getting cut off, and I don't think the content was necessarily the greatest anyway. And from every bit of feedback I've ever seen from any content creator on YouTube or Twitch or something like that, if you have content that you're not particularly happy with and that you wouldn't want to watch yourself, then you shouldn't upload it, because if it's not worth your own time, then it's not really going to be worth somebody else's time who wants to sit there and watch it and be entertained by it. So I kind of made this decision just to leave that episode out and not worry about it and make this the new episode 14. So it has been a while because of that since we actually saw each other. The last episode we went through and played our games against Arsenal and Stoke. Of course, kind of broke even, a 4-1 loss on the opening day and then a 3-0 win left us with a 0 goal difference, but our first 3 points of the season. We then backed it up with virtually the same results again, a 3-0 defeat to Chelsea, Pedro, Eden Hazard and Unai Nunez putting them 3 goals up inside the first half. We did make a tactical tweak at half time that brought us back into it a little bit, but you can see from the match ratings and stuff here, we didn't perform particularly well. We followed that up with a 3-0 win, a really good victory against Crystal Palace. Tom Davies with his first start of the season and first goal for the club in injury time of the first half. Jordan Ibe and Ben Gibson added in the second to make it a pretty comfortable victory. We then had our first ever Europa League game, a 7-1 win against Apoel in Cyprus. Ben Brereton was fantastic in this game, scored 4 goals. We were absolutely demolishing them. They did get a late consolation goal in the 87th minute, but even then we responded with Danny Ings getting a pen. But a really good performance from quite a few players there. And then we had our away match against Liverpool. We travelled to Anfield. We absolutely robbed them in this game. I think they had like 25 shots and we had about 10. They had a ton of chances, a ton of possession. It was a Danny Ings screamer in the 14th minute, like a first-time strike from the top of the 18-yard box that he put right in the pigeon. They equalised through Dries Mertens, who they've obviously picked up from Napoli throughout the course of this save, and then Callum Wilson came off the bench on his return from injury, got an injury time winner for us. I'm not going to lie and say we deserved much out of this game, but to turn around and actually get 3 points is a phenomenal result, particularly travelling away to Anfield. We then followed up that decent form with a 3-1 loss to Norwich. It was a Liverpool loanee, Ben Woodburn, who did the damage. We went a goal up in the first 5 minutes and I thought this is going to be pretty bloody easy. It wasn't. I think we just kind of switched off at half time. Didn't play particularly well. They got 3 really good goals on the counter, so we're out of the League Cup, but it gives us a chance to focus elsewhere, I guess, maybe, if you want to use that old adage from the press conferences. Then played Huddersfield, decent game. We didn't do too badly. We had a lot of chances, but it was a lot of like deep crosses and things like that. Huddersfield have picked up quite a few players. They picked up Nick Pope from us, Junior Stanislas as well. They've got Tammy Abraham on loan at the moment from Chelsea. They've got a solid looking squad with Aaron Moy still at the base of their midfield. He's a Ballon d'Or smoky. They might win the league. Anything could happen. So a good 1-0 win there. And that brings us up to the 2 games we're going to go through today. We're going to play Ajax in the Europa League. We'll go through our Europa League group in a moment, and we're also going to play Manchester United, the away trip up to Old Trafford. So off screen, since the last episode, we have had the Europa League group stage draw. We didn't get a horrible group. It's Bournemouth, Ajax, Braga and Apoel. I think Apoel will be the whipping boys of the competition. Braga lost 2-0 to Ajax on the first day of the season, so this game is actually massive for us. If we can get a decent result and even a win, it puts us on 6 points after the 2 games. It gives us, I think, a 3-point gap to what will be our nearest rival in Ajax. And then we still have the return fixture to come at home at Dean Court. Oh, sorry, not at Dean Court, at the Majeski Stadium while Dean Court's being relegated. But it'd be good to travel to Ajax and play in the Johan Cruyff Arena today. Even though the Dutch League isn't loaded up, they still have some really good players out there. They've still got relatively strong form. So it's going to be a tricky one for us. We're going to switch to the standard mentality for this one. We tried using it a little bit against Liverpool and Chelsea for the away games, and I want to try and develop a more basic tactic that we can use for like European away fixtures, particularly once the third place teams in the Champions League drop back down. and then also to use when we're playing like top 4 Champions League quality opposition in the Premier League itself, so that we have a little bit more adaptability, a little bit more versatility, and we're not just sticking to attacking all the time. We can escalate to attack when we need to, but standard is just a relatively straightforward and basic formation to use. So the lineup we're going to go with is Jack Butland in goal, Gibson and Oxford as the 2 central defenders here, Mings and Trippier on either wing. Danny Rose has worked his way back from injury though, so I will put him on the bench. Chris Smalling is fit again. He hasn't been in fantastic form the times that he's played, so I'm just going to give him another week coming off the bench, work his way back up to full fitness, and hopefully find some form along the way. Sessegnon and Ibe on the wings. I do want to try and get Ademola Lookman some game time as well. I think he's been very patient so far. Davies will continue at the moment as the box-to-box midfielder. He has currently supplanted Lewis Cook as our preferred option in that role. Drinkwater will anchor midfield as that deep line playmaker on defend duty. And Danny Ings will play as the defensive forward with Callum Wilson up top. Though Ben Brereton was fantastic in the last Europa League game, so maybe we should look at giving him an opportunity at some point off the bench as well. And then we will also have a look at Ashley Barnes in a couple of weeks. I'm probably going to give him another week to actually work his way back from his injury. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take off Callum Wilson, and we won't risk him either. Given his injury history and the way and that he's consistently missed football for us, I don't really want to force him into this game and do too much. So we'll give Ben Brereton the opportunity to continue his hot form in the Europa League, play Danny Ings as the complete forward, and then we'll go from there. So indecision's rife. It's all what it is. And you know what? Screw it. I'm going to change Ben Gibson as well, just because I want to try and get Chris Smalling out there. Smalling and Oxford, like 3.5 stars each at the moment, and when they're not even really in form. And with Oxford with such a high ceiling, like if they can get a good bond going, it's going to be great for us. There we go. I'm happy with it now. I'm cool. Okay, so as I was mentioning, even though we don't have that the Dutch league loaded up in this particular save, they've still got some decent players in there. Onana in goal, Tagliafico, who I believe played at the World Cup most recently for Argentina. Talsma, Van Ochten, Elzinga. I'm not sure if they're actually real players or just don't have photos in this particular face pack. Christensen will play as the right wing back. Ziyech, who's a great player. Shone, who I believe is Danish and played against Australia at the most recent World Cup, and Neres will be the midfield, with Siem de Jong, ex-Newcastle striker, who has now actually moved to the A-League in Australia and is playing as one of the marquees for Sydney FC. So I'll get to see him in a couple of weeks when he comes down to Melbourne. Casper Dolberg, who of course is a phenomenal striker in this game. If you've been around Football Manager in the past 12 months, you'll know that Casper Dolberg is a wonder kid. He improves very, very quickly, and he is one of the best strikers in the game in a few years' time. So they've got some talent about them. We will have to be at our best. So I'm assertively going to say, go out there and impress me. And a couple of players have looked all right. And I'm going to tell the attack, I have faith in you. Get out there and make the difference. And at least Danny Ings has responded well. Pretty decent one there. Danny Drinkwater will take the captain's armband today, which is interesting. He's only a summer signing. So, and can we get out of the first highlight here without conceding a goal? Doesn't look like much is happening right now. They have given away an early free kick. Will we get to see it? No, we don't. So that brings that highlight to a close, but at least we haven't conceded. So focus on the positives. So early doors, it does look like Braga and Apoel are playing in Cyprus. So you would still expect Braga to maybe get a result in that game, given that they are playing in the top tier of Portuguese football. Elzinga now throw in on the left-hand side. Dolberg's got a ball across to David Neres on top of the 18-yard box. He has a strike on his left foot, but thankfully it just a whisker wide, because that would have been depressing, but at least we have the ability with this tactical tweak to kind of move into that attacking structure if we are chasing a goal. First 15 minutes we haven't conceded yet, though Tyrone Mings does look like he's picked up a knock. Shown now with the corner, it's in, but only as far as Sessegnon, who heads away. Comes back out to Christensen, who puts a deep ball across, and the ball came down there for a moment. I believe it's Trippier, hacks it off the line, and well headed away. Sessegnon now on the follow-up. Do we have a counter-attack in us? No, Christensen tidies up, and that's the end of the highlight. We're being seriously overrun in midfield. I mean, that's not news to anybody. We've been playing the 4-4-2 now for a season and a half, pretty much. Elzinga now with the throw-in to Ziyech. Ziyech? I don't know how to pronounce that one. Dolberg plays it back to him again. A decent one too, and he's made a good run down the channel. We need to be aware, and he strikes from distance. I believe it was a cross that he missed hit. And Jack Butland does well, and then it's hooked away by the defence. So getting to the half an hour mark, they've had 4 shots, we've had 1. We haven't had one on target yet. They've also had 55% possession, so we're not playing that well. At least if we get to half time at 0-0, I can fire a little bit of a rocket and then maybe push the attacking instruction and see if that helps in any way. Don't really have any star performers at the moment. It looks like Drinkwater is struggling. Oxford isn't playing that well, neither is Ings. Not bad enough that I need to hook them at halftime or anything, but at least they have room for improvement, I guess. Over on their side, looks like Ziyech is having a good game controlling that midfield. At the left-hand side of their midfield three. I haven't actually worked much with the 5-3-2 or with wing-backs in this version of the game. It might be something that we look at doing with our upcoming beta save with Hamburg. Try and get a bit of culture going, a bit of a continental formation, do some crazy different shapes. Assertively, I'm going to say it's time for everyone to dig in and show me what you've got left. Jordan Ibe has switched off, so I might just tell the midfield, you weren't that bad, but I believe you can improve, and it hasn't done anything to help him. Let's go to our tactics as well. Let's switch to attacking. We might as well go after it. We're either going to lose the way the current setup is working, or we will go attacking and win or get a heavy defeat. So anything will happen, but I'll at least gamble and go for it. I wonder if the 3-5-2/5-3-2 is kind of the antithesis of the 4-4-2 that we're using. We do have a corner though, Drinkwater to take. It's a deep ball in, it comes out to Jordan. It's a good strike from distance and the keeper didn't look too troubled by it. It wasn't that far wide though. Here we go, we've got to throw in now. Trippier to take on the right hand side though, De Jong has won it back. Drinkwater gets a ball in but the keeper comes out well. Onana, what's his name? No, that's a Rihanna song, I'm only kidding. But I guarantee he would get that from whatever fan base he has, whether they're Dutch or not. Ings with the ball now. There's an overlapping run for Tyrone Mings. Played down the line to Sessegnon. Can he get a cross in? It's a deep one. Brereton goes up, but he couldn't find his finishing boots today. I believe by the time we got to the hour mark against Applewell, he already had 3 or 4 goals, so hasn't been his day. We're getting towards the hour mark now, so let's just quickly look at some subs. I don't think Danny Ings has performed that well, so we might take him off and bring Callum Wilson on as the complete forward. And Tyrone Mings, with that knock, I'm just a little bit concerned about it, so I'm going to do Danny Rose as well. Midfield is 6.9s across the board. It makes it difficult to try and take someone off, to be honest. Though Jordan Ibe does look to be improving. He's been involved a little bit more in the second half. Just tell them I've got faith and see how they go from there. So Danny Rose hasn't been in decent form, and then when he got injured, he wasn't that kind of made Tyrone Mings come in, and we did a little bit better. So I'm actually not sure if Danny Rose is the long-term solution at fullback. He is only 28. There's still a good 3-4 seasons left in him. We probably won't get that far in this save, so we really only need someone for the next 12 months. I'd love to get Luke Shaw in. I think Luke Shaw is an ideal signing type situation. Even someone like a Ben Chilwell from Leicester would be a really great option. And of course, both can play as that sort of left wing back that we're looking to incorporate now. Alright, 10 minutes remaining. Let's look at making our last sub. Game's really kind of petered out in the second half. And I'll pause that one there. So Drinkwater's having a much better game now. Let's go with Ademola Lookman on the left wing. Sessegnon hasn't done that much wrong. And we'll give him a team talk and assertively say, I have faith in you, get out there and make a difference, and confirm that talk. And then we might also, as soon as this one comes through, Tom Davies has gotten injured. I just made that sub. Okay, so Lookman hasn't come on yet, which still gives us an opportunity. So we can just change that one real quick. Make it Lewis Cook. Give him a team talk and say, I have faith in you. Get out there and make a difference. And he hasn't responded particularly well, but it is what it is. There's not a lot we can do. And let's also use a shout that says push forward. Oh, God. They had a corner there, and Jack Butland made a good save. All right, do we have a counter-attack here? Sessegnon's going to come out to Shona. Oh, here we go. We've won it back high at the pitch. It is Lewis Cook. He's released Callum Wilson, the fresh sub, and nothing happens. They cut it away. Did we not even at least get a strike away? Football Manager? Are you fucking with me, guys? All right, 5 minutes to be added on. There's 2 minutes remaining in extra time. We have won the ball back. Played it forward to Callum Wilson now. There's a crossfield switch on if you can find Jordan Ibe. Get the ball back in, Jordan, please. There's a backstick runner. Sessegnon, Wilson gets it down, and I swear Sessegnon's shot was going on target, but the highlight has cut away again. Are we being deliberately edited? Am I getting hacked? Is this some sort of Russian DDS attack? It's a long ball forward. Surely that is the end of play. Oh, hang on, wait. There is 45 seconds remaining. Was it a tackle from behind on Wilson? Just don't get injured, Wilson. Onana goes back to Tagliafico. It's a long ball forward. Smalling deals with it well though. Drinkwater's going to knock it forward. Wilson comes forward again, who's been great in the second half. Free kick given to Ajax, and I dare say that is going to be the end of this game. We're at the end of injury time. Onana with the long ball forward, and the referee's called full time, so it's a 0-0 draw. Not the most exciting one ever. We brought it back a little bit in the second half. We had 8 shots, only one of them on target. I don't know what was going on with those highlights cutting out in the middle of what seemed like the most important points. Assertively, let's just say you're unlucky. There's no need. Oh god, even that hasn't worked out well. I'm not even going to try and save it. Screw it. It's fine. It is what it is. So fingers crossed we can get a decent result against Man United in a couple of days and make it a little bit more exciting. Davies has picked up sprained knee ligament, so he's going to be out 6 to 7 weeks. Assertively, don't worry about your injury. And he says it's not going to get the better of him, which is good. Tyrone Mings out for 2 to 3 days with bruised ribs. Doesn't look too bad. He's a top class player. It'll suck. He has been very good, actually, Tom Davies, since he came into the squad. At least it gives Lewis Cook an opportunity, I suppose. And then we also put on the bench Andrew Sermon, who has just waited patiently all day, or all season so far, which is really, really good to see. Next game, we might go back to Ings and Wilson, and I'll bring in Danny Rose for Tyrone Mings. We'll give Tyrone Mings a little bit more time to try and get over his injury, and I'll put Simon Francis on the bench as well. And then we will give everybody here a rest just for 1 day, and hopefully that's enough to get us all back up to 100% fitness so that we can go again for the Manchester United game. And again, through the magic of editing, I'll jump ahead to that one now. Alright, and bang, just like that, we are a couple of days ahead. Nothing particularly interesting happened in the days in between. We're probably going to stick with maybe one change. Oh, sorry, no, 3 changes. What am I talking about? I have no idea what's going on. I've lost the plot. So Danny Rose will come in for Tyrone Mings, who picked up that knock. He's okay now, but I'm going to give Simon Francis some time off the bench. Lewis Cook will come in for Tom Davies, who's going to be out 6 to 7 weeks. And we will also push Ben Brereton into the bench and bring in Ings and Wilson as our preferred striking partnership. We'll stick on standard, and then if it's not working at halftime, we'll go back to attacking and see how we go from there. So United still managed by Jose Mourinho in the game. It is their 3rd season, so you have to wonder if 3rd season syndrome will kick in. De Gea in goal, Shaw and Valencia on the wings. Shaw and Valencia as the 2 fullbacks. Lindelof and Bailly will be their central defensive partnership. Pogba will play with Adrian Silva from Leicester. They've picked him up throughout this season and made him captain, apparently. Marek Hamsik, who they've picked up from Napoli, will play as the 10. Alexis Sanchez on the left wing. Gelson Martins, who they've picked up from Sporting CP, on the right. Very consistently does Manchester United go after Gelson Martins. I'm not sure if that happens in other people's save as well. And Martial will play up top. On the bench, they've got Dean Henderson, who's having a fantastic season this year in real life for Sheffield United. Nemanja Matic, Marcus Rashford, Romelu Lukaku, Juan Mata, Axel Tuanzebe, and Edin Dzeko, who they've picked up from Roma. So some quality all across that bench line. So we'll have to be at our best. And I'm just going to passionately say, we've got nothing to lose here. We know how good we are. Let's go out there and do some stuff. Reece Oxford, because he is my bae. He is my spirit animal. Just loved it. And we kick off the first half away at Old Trafford. So far this season, even though we're only, I think, like 7 or 8 games in, we have had our away trip to the Emirates, our away trip to Stamford Bridge, and our away trip now to Old Trafford. So in reality, if you're trying to use the conventional top 4 or who have finished top 4 previous season, only Man City as an away trip to go, and pretty much everyone else we have already chalked off. Oh, we also played at Anfield already. That's crazy. That is a weird structuring to our fixture list, but I guess it's probably got something to do with the fact. Callum Wilson's coming forward now, cuts it back for Ings. We're a goal up against Manchester United. Just ignore it. Ignore the game. I'll keep talking because clearly it's working for the team. So not only have we played away at Anfield, we... what was I saying? I've completely lost my train of thought. God damn you, Danny Ings, you beautiful human being. This run, that ball from Sessignon is phenomenal, and Callum Wilson, all the time in the world, just picks up a cutback. Ings' first time finish, and even if he had a missed, we had Jordan Ibe back 6, so that is a great goal and some decent football. Sees us move up into 4th spot as well, 15 points, only 1 point off top spot against Chelsea, who beat us convincingly. And their goal difference is phenomenal. Look at that, 10 goals in 7 games. So what was I saying? Oh, the Majeski. We're working in the Majeski Stadium at the moment while Dean Court is being renovated. So maybe that has some sort of implication on why we're playing so many games away from home at the moment. But at least we're getting him out of the way. And if we can get through that period, all these away matches, and be sitting around 5th or 6th, then that's pretty phenomenal, right? Like we have a whole run of home games where last year our form was absolutely phenomenal to actually try and secure Champions League football. Okay, Ibe with the ball forward now. This is the concern. It's United on the counter when they pick up the ball in midfield. Pogba is streaming forward and skipping past players. That is a phenomenal run. I'm pretty sure he hit the post then. Either Jack Butland's come up with an amazing save or Pogba has picked up the ball, run 60 yards and then hit the crossbar. So Standard appears to be doing the job for us at the moment. They are well and truly ahead in terms of shots taken. Trippier with the free kick now. Plays it short to Drinkwater. Now back to Trippier on the right wing. Looked for a ball forward. It's come all the way back to De Gea who goes long. Oxford tidies up well, but Hamsich gets the rebound and they're looking for Martial in behind. He's gotten inside the fullback and thankfully Butland came out well. He didn't have much of an angle to shoot at and eventually Butland's save goes out for a throw-in. So that's the danger on the counter-attack. They've got Sanchez out there, they've got Martins who's lightning fast and Martial who they can play in behind very easily. Even though we have taken the lead, it does look like Adrian Silva has the leading match rating. Oh no, I take that back. Danny Ings is 7.2. But Adrian Silva with a 7.0 is bossing the midfield at present. It is a return to Old Trafford for Chris Smalling and for Danny Drinkwater as well. I don't think there's anyone else our team that played at Old Trafford or played for United previously. I've tried to resist the temptation of just signing United players. Martial's come forward and Reece Oxford has dragged him back and United will have a penalty in the 39th minute. It's going to be Adrian Silva to take. It's a good strike. He sends the keeper the wrong way and puts that one high into the right-hand side. Looks like he's wearing the number 6 now. I'm not sure what number Pogba must have switched to. But I guess he's their captain. It's a good strike. Keeper wasn't getting to that one even if he dove late. So they have equalised and we dropped down to 6th spot. So it's not going to kill us. We will be still on 13 points. Even 12 points wouldn't kill us at this stage given how tight everything is. Martial's coming forward now. It's a dead angle shot. Thankfully, he didn't have much support breaking forward. Pogba, I think Pogba's moved to 13, which is weird. I'm not sure why that's happened. We've now got Reece Oxford and Danny Rose both on yellow cards, which is a concern. They have Eric Bailly on one as well. Not sure if it's been that spiteful a game. Seven apiece in a foul count. That's not hot. I've seen worse. I've seen better, though, as well. Passionate. We owe Man United after what happened in our last match. That one's worked a little bit better. Should we go for it, you reckon? Yeah, fuck it. Let's go for it. Why not? Let's go attacking. And I'm also going to take off Reece Oxford. Bring on Ben Gibson, who's been fantastic for us. And then I'm just going to swap his sides with Chris Smalling. Just because Ben Gibson's left-footed. That's the only reason. Let's go with that. Let's make that one change. And I'm really, really hoping we get a goal from Smalling or a goal from Drinkwater so that we get that highlight that says he scored against his former club, because that seems to happen way too frequently in this game. Alright, we've recovered the ball now. Is this going to be a highlight or is it just the kick-off highlights? Crossfield switch towards Wilson. Oh no, he was offside, so the referee's pulled that one back. For a second there I thought maybe. Sessegnon had made a good overlapping run, it looked like. Danny Rose, yellow card is a concern. We don't have much in the way of backup options defensively now. Hamsich with the ball to take. It's gone all the way through. Lukaku, who's come off the bench for United and has the ball now. He pulls it all the way back to Gelson Martins on halfway almost. Valencia goes around the outside, hangs the ball up. It's brought back down for Pogba and thankfully he screws that shot down wide and to the left. So 17 shots now for United. We've only had 5. They've also had 57% of the possession. Juan Mata's come on now for Gelson Martins. Danny Drinkwater has picked up a yellow card, so it seems like a decent time for us to jump in and maybe have a look at what we're doing here. 6.7s for Danny Drinkwater and Sessegnon. I don't have much in the way of central midfield options. I can maybe go with Andrew Sermon. He hasn't played much this year as that deep line playmaker, but he was fantastic for us last year. And then we might also go with Jack Grealish on the left wing. He has been incredibly patient so far this season, Jack Grealish. He hasn't complained about anything, so I have faith in them. Go out there, do some stuff. Grealish has responded well. He's still got really good morale despite barely playing. And let's see what we can do. We've used all our subs now. We're on attacking instructions. We've got 30 minutes. Can we get, I wouldn't be shattered with a point, but I'd really love to go and get 3 points. That'd be phenomenal. They haven't started the season that well, United, which makes me think maybe some of Jose's third season syndrome has kicked in. We do have a throw in. Danny Rose to take on the left-hand side. Comes to Callum Wilson. It's a ball across the shore, brought down by Cook. They've cleared it away. Lukaku on halfway. The counter-attack is terrifying. Chris Smalling with the long ball forward. Looks like Luke Shaw will tidy up. Goes back to Bailly. Oh, I thought for a second maybe Danny Ings was in the area. Pogba to Alexis. Cook cuts the ball out well in midfield. Starts again with Gibson. Looks for a crossfield switch to Grealish, but Valencia's won the ball back. Martin out. He's gotten in behind. Hangs the ball up, back stick, and Alexis Sanchez arrives far post. Alexis has done fuck all game. But Marta has come off the bench with probably a decent right-footed cross, that's how you can tell it's a video game, because he doesn't do that in the real world. He gets in behind Danny Rose, and doesn't have enough to get back goal side. It's a right-footed cross. Maybe Butland could have done better. I think Trippier definitely could have done better. But it hits the underside of the crossbar and goes in. You can't say it hasn't been coming for them. 19 shots, 7 on target, 57% possession. If we had that stat line and we're down 2-1, I'd be furious about it. They've brought on Matic now as a replacement for Pogba. There's 10 minutes remaining. We do have a highlight here. Grealish to take. Jack Grealish on fucking corners, man. Like, I'm getting flashbacks like Vietnam style to last year. He never beats the first man, not ever. Juan Mata with a good crossfield ball to Valencia. Hangs the ball at back stick again. It's virtually the same goal that they scored last time, except Butland got across well, saved the initial volley or header or whatever it was from Sanchez, but he follows up on the rebound, makes it 3-1. I probably shouldn't have gone attacking. Hindsight being 2020. It's a good ball from Valencia. Let's check out the save from Jack Butland. It's a great volley, and he did all he could, to be fair, but I don't know where Kieran Trippier had wandered off to. His mum was probably here to pick him up and waiting in the car park. Alright, so that would see us drop down to 10th spot, which isn't the worst thing in the world. But the frustration is I think it puts us back down to 1 or 2 goal difference after working pretty hard to boost that again. Somehow Lukaku's gotten in behind. It was a good turn. So I've done everything wrong in this game. Marta now to take the corner. He's on a hat-trick of assists. Rose with the clearance away. It's coming out to Luke Shaw on halfway. Do we have anything left in us? Is there even a point of using a shout? No, it's not going to let me. 4 minutes to be added on. They are rocketing by very quickly. We're now well and truly beyond them. Sanchez has picked up a knock as well. It's a long ball forward and the referee's called full time. So, look, I fucked up, alright? I made the mistakes. I shouldn't have gone attacking at half time. I probably didn't make the correct subs that I should have. You have a look at the defensive match ratings here. Ben Gibson only played 45 minutes and got 6.4. Grealish came off the bench, got a 6.5. Sermon was only 6.7, so none of the subs really did that much. Disappointing. So Jordan Ibe was our best performer. Reece Oxford had the most mistakes. He did give away that penalty, but it's hard to argue with the stat line. 24 shots to 10, 58% possession, 42%. They had pretty much the majority of the chances that we saw as well. I'm just going to say, we're the underdogs and you gave it your best effort. Good effort. Oh, God. The 3 subs have lost focus. Right, so not our greatest day. I accept. It's on me. I wasn't great in that game. I probably made a lot of the wrong decisions. Bournemouth in disappointing collapse after taking the lead. But fair to say, I think United actually deserved it in that game. If we look at our results so far, we've had 4 wins and 3 defeats. If we look at the 3 defeats, we lost 3-1 away to Manchester United, 3-0 away to Chelsea, and now 4-1 away to Arsenal as well. So I think we need to develop like some sort of counter-attacking tactic or something like that. We do have this one up our sleeves, the defensive one, and I've not really used it. So maybe we try and give that defensive tactic a go next time we have an away game against like higher level opposition. When do we play Man City? We play Man City in December, so it's not that far away. And between now and then, we actually don't really have a game that you'd say is a game we couldn't win on attacking. Maybe Leicester. Leicester are a good side that play them away. Anyway, it's something to think about. Oh, Burnley. Burnley at home. I'm still scared of Robbie Brady from last season. So yeah, we'll have a bit of a tweak. We'll see what we can do. For the next game, we might come back and do... We've done our October game, so we'll probably skip ahead a little bit and go to November. And I might push it a little bit further out, and we'll do the game against Hull City away from home. And then the game against Burnley, and that can be like a revenge mission game where we try and avenge the 6-1 humbling and then the 3-1 humbling that they gave us last year. So definitely the bogey side for us. They're 18th at the moment in the Premier League, so not doing that well. They didn't register Jonathan Walters, which is a slap in the face of that guy. And maybe by then they will be absolutely ripe for the picking, and we can tear them apart a little bit, because I'd love to get one back over Sean Dyche. Anyway, so the season is humming along nicely. We are slowly progressing. I do think we'll still get out of our Europa League group. We will know more by the time the next episode rolls around. If you have any feedback, please put it in the comment section below. I'll endeavour to respond to every single comment that I get between now and the release of the new game. There have been exciting developments on the channel over the last couple of weeks with the announcement of our Hamburg beta save, and then also you will see there is a video up right now announcing our Football Manager 2019 main save. If you haven't watched that video yet, I'm not going to spoil it for you. More than anything though, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate the views, and I'll see you guys again in the mixer.